Greetings and salutations to my mystics and magicians, my weirdos, my wildlings, my fellow walkers of magical mystery and mayhem. However it is that you see yourself, however it is that you have come to be in this moment, I welcome you. For I have arrived in this moment, and sometimes simply showing up, that's the fucking win. All right, I am Vi Phoenix, the ever-evolving self of the Abysmal Witch. I am clearly driving while I talk, for those of you who are actually watching video. So I am going to see, this is my test run. Will I publish my test run? I can tell you this is not my first test run. So if you're seeing this, it is the first time I will have published a test run. I've been exploring this idea of when I can actually manage to record, one, and two, wanting to add to video, right? So being able to do more, podcast on video. So YouTubing, I guess, is the way to call it. Yeah. So if you're listening to this on Pennies in the Well, you're getting it kind of old school style in the sense of, and I know that I have been had been podcasting for quite some time, years upon years ago. And yes, that was a thing falling off the dash because this is all new territory. This is test day. Yeah. So Pennies in the Well podcast years ago. Haven't put out an episode in God knows how long, but here we are. And if you are watching this, then you're watching it on YouTube under a witch's perspective. And then if depending on what gets talked about today, and if things get posted, really, I cannot harp on that enough because I'm thinking that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, it could get posted also on an abysmal perspective. So really, what is the difference there? Let me do a little intro to my world. So Pennies in the Well, podcast from way too long ago at this point. It's well over a decade now, I think, since I was actively since I started podcasting. A podcast on magic, life, and living was what it was entitled. And is entitled or subtitled. Yeah. Pretty fun. A lot of fun things that were done. Went through a freakish amount of life changes, as one does. And things got busy, as they do. And now here I am. A lot of years later, still wanting to put thoughts out into the universe, which is really, I guess, what I'm doing right now in a babbly fashion, hopefully with a wee bit of entertainment going on. So if you're watching this on video, you are also aware that, I am driving. This is me in my car, commuting home from work, because I have the time that I have. This is it. This is what I got. So this is where we are meeting up, my darlings. This is it. Yeah, so why one podcast and two YouTube channels? Well, because the podcast is really easy for me to ramble at length. YouTube videos feel better when they're chunked, but also topic-wise, I really found that I wanted to separate into a witch's perspective, which is more... the easiest way is actually explain more of what an abysmal perspective is, which is my witchy perspective on whatever it is that it happens to be. But it presumes, for the most part, a level of engagement and or knowledge in the esoteric, in the magical, in the witchy world, that I'm not going to go into basic low-level explanations of, this is what I mean by this. Which does not mean that I will not go into explanations, because explaining and sharing thoughts, ideas, so my jam, raspberry jam, explicitly. So good. Yes, so I do love me some jam. I do love me some explaining. And at the same time, there'll be this different level of engagement, a different depth. One could almost say a simplicity and a complexity, but that's, I think, a little unfair to the simplicity side of things. Righto. Did I have an actual topic for today to talk about while I am going through this, aside from a brief explanation? No, I didn't. That would involve a different level of planning ahead. Oh yeah, check out awesome haircut, by the way. My sister rocks. Papers and scissors. Potentially lizards and Spocks, but not Not something I'm that knowledgeable on, aside from that those exist as options. Oh my goodness. I don't know about you, but life is just horribly busy. Like this feeling of, the hamster wheel. I swear, there's a book, Joseph Pilates, Return to Life. Is that what he called it? I mean, I haven't looked at the title of the book in forever, but in one of the first chapters, he talks about how crazy busy the world has gotten, and that feeling of running and never being able to catch up, and like feelings that are very familiar to now, set in like the 40s or 50s or 60s, whenever it was that he happened to write it. And it just kind of leaves me sitting in this place of, holy cannoli, you thought it was bad then, dude. You should try now. Now is just the most insane amount of run around like a chicken with no head. Like, it's too much. It's way, way, way too much. And every decade it seems to get worse. We don't seem to be getting any better at feeling relaxed, calm, etc., which probably speaks to what we have in our world, the amount of things and the amount of information and the free-flowingness of it, and needing to have more and expecting to have more. And how do we get to a place of less and pause, really pause? Oh, I got some serious things around pause. I have a whole thing around pause. And if there was time in my life, I would make a little mini course about pause and how to pause, and share with you the wonderfulness of pausing. So this is my first step onto that, because that's the reality of things. If we have a place that we want to go, one, we have to figure out that we want to go somewhere. That's kind of a thing. Or even just move. Sometimes it's just, I just want to move. I don't know where. Well, do it. Try it out. Try something else until you find the thing that moves you in a way that you want to keep moving in. And move. You just take a step, do a thing, try it out, fail again, fail better. If you want to get all Sam Beckett-y about it, which is Sam Beckett, by the way, playwright, for those who don't know, which was me. I was told multiple times that I was quoting Sam Beckett. Not the same quote either. You like that little finger thing I got going on? For those who can see me, I'm finger wanking in my video because my hand is right there on the steering wheel. Yeah, fail better. And if you know who Sam Beckett is, well, you probably are way deeper into theater and such than I am, but still, some good concepts. I hate failing. I really do. Failing is hard. It is scary. I have this almost intrinsic built-in belief that if I fail, I am less than. I am not the person that I want to be. Oh my God, if I fail, I am a bad person. That is not a healthy viewpoint. That is an actually toxic viewpoint. Failing does not make me a bad person. Being a shitty person makes me a bad person. Being an uncaring lout who goes about and harming people for my own enjoyment, that would make me a horrible person. Failing makes me human. Makes me a learner, because I tried. I tried to do something and I failed at it. And then hopefully I tried again. And maybe I failed worse. Those ones really are horrible. I hate the feeling worse on the second or third go around. And then you try again and maybe you feel a little less and do something kind of cool and kind of good. And we are going to try opening up some windows because I am cooking in here. Summer is starting to arrive. Oh, I'm worried about the sound, which is why this is a testing thing. But my car currently does not have AC in it. I have many concerns about this. And for those who know that I have a dog and that sometimes she travels with me, she is not with me today. If she was, she'd be in the creek behind me. But today is her home day, my office day. It's the day when we spend it apart, which is a little sad and a little hard, but also kind of good to have some alone time without the puppy. Okay, failing. Hate it. But I'm working through that, right? Starting to recognize the worth and the wonder and the power of failing. And trying to get some feel into how, if I don't fail, if I never have the experience of failing, if all I do is the thing that I'm trying to do and then I succeed at it and I get better and better at it, but I never hit an obstacle or a blockage, then I'm never working through what that means, the impact of that obstacle or blockage, of how it changes, it can change me, how it affects me, how to overcome adversity. If you never have adversity, you're never going to learn to overcome it. And then when it does happen, oh, so not prepared. Oh my goodness, it's too much, it's too big, I can't possibly handle all of this. Yeah, it's much better to get the practice in smaller things. And we all like being at the best that we can be and having that really great experience, but it's not going to be an always thing. It's going to be a sometimes thing. And for some of us, it's a lot more often than for others of us. Balance, right? Kind of not a requirement to pull into the center and have no deviation, but rather to expand across the entire disk of being so that we are super easy time in balancing. And then once we have all that experience, we can balance on the head of the pin. Sorry, that went some extra lines down, extra brain paths, extra thought paths in my brain, however you want to phrase it. So that's where I think I'm at with regards to this test and thoughts of failure. Unless I want to talk a little bit more, do I, fellow companions on this journey? Do I want to talk a little bit more while I'm sitting unmoving in traffic? For those who are watching, obviously you can see that I am sitting unmoving in traffic and I'm looking at you. I can see you. If I could only remember where the source of the camera right there. Yes, look at that. And then I look like I'm looking at you. Okay. I could talk more about first steps. First steps suck in a lot of cases. Sometimes they can be really fun. Like oh my God, I get to try this. This is so cool. But it's hard, for me, it's really hard to take in sometimes that first experience. First time taking any drug has typically, mind-altering substance, let's call it. Typically, any time that I've done a first time with those, they just don't stay with me. And I think it's because the experience has no frame of reference. So I need the first time to build something of a frame and reference to it in relation to my normal state of mind. It's like that first separation from the one into the two. You don't fully realize that you are a two until you can look back and see that there was a one. And so as you're going through that first experience, even though that is the act of becoming a new experience, for me it's when it is completed and I can look back and go, oh yeah, okay, yes, this is different. So really for me, the second time with an intoxicating substance, traffic, is when I really start to understand and more directly experience the effects of what I have taken and what I am experiencing. So I'm trapped in traffic is what I am right this moment. Ooh, some lovely people. Take advantage. There you go. Good job. Good job. Can you tell I have a dog now? Good job. Phrases that are standard in my doggy land. Oh, she is amazing and adorable, and 97% of the time I adore her to pieces, and then 3% of the time, there are other feelings. So, because I am not perfect and she is not perfect, and sometimes I fail and sometimes she fails and sometimes we fail as a togetherness. First steps. It's like doing this. It's the first pancake in the pan. It's the messy try so that you can see what happened and then try again and fail better. Yep, we've reached it. The end of my limits. The end of my thoughts that I'm going to share today. My goal going forward is to have a little bit more. I mean, and I even have a list of topics. I do. I even have a list of concurrent topics between a Witch's perspective and an abysmal perspective, where things shift from one thing and then taking it and looking at it from a different perspective, but a deeper, more magically aware and attuned perspective, rather than kind of that basic, hey, I'm a witch, this is how a witch would see something. So I have those plans. And I do not have them with me. They are at home. One step at a time. Because it's all we can ever do. One step at a time. And I will tell you this, my darlings. You got this. You got it. Whatever you want to take a step on. If I did this, especially if you're watching it, which means that I put it out in the world, that means you can do it too. Take your step. Whatever that step is toward the thing that you really want to do, but totally dramatizes you for reasons that you probably can't even explain. Or maybe you can. Doesn't matter. The fact is, the traumatization is the thing. The desire becomes the fear that blocks us. So join me. Join me in this messy first time trial and see where we get. And I say, let me know in the comments. I don't know that I can read comments because comments are going to stress me out. And yes, that was somebody who cut me off so much that there was a strong likelihood of an accident there. And I was paying attention to the road. Pushy people. Maybe that's why I also want to talk to you while I'm driving. I know, I said I was finishing. Clearly, I'm now just going to vent for a moment about driving. It's really hard to keep zen. And I think a lot of us in the post-COVID days that we are now in, it's been five years since COVID. 5. That's insane. But there is so much extra tension and stress in the world, and people pushing and focused in on the needs of the self, which we need to do that, but balanced with the compassion and space for others, which we definitely need more of. And for those who have been doing that, to not do it to the point where they burn out. How do we accomplish that? How do we accomplish less? How do we accomplish less with more? Because isn't that a trippy thought, eh? Always this talk about accomplish more with less, accomplish more with less. How about I accomplish less and have more? Have more time, have more space, have more sleep, have more rest of all kinds. There's a topic, all the various kinds of rest, which other people have covered. I just always have my own little unique spin to put on it. So, okay, this time, now that I'm not reacting to the person who cut me off, determined that they were not going to get stuck behind a line of cars, and then almost got us stuck having to spend a way lot extra time dealing with the fact that they would have hit me. I'm over it. Truly, I am. Actually, I really am. So with that, with all the love, all the compassion, and a soupçon of encouragement to get up and do the thing that scares you to do, and just take one teeny tiny little step forward. If you do that, I'll post this video. Oh, wait. Okay, I'll post this video. If I post this video, then you need to do that. Fair is fair, right? All right, we got this. High five. Woo! Take care. Loves. Bye.